Sorry in advance if this is all over the place. I have a hard time explaining things. Thanks ADHD. Anyway, my husband and I have a 6-month-old daughter and 2 older kids, 8 and 10. We had gone to one of his buddy's house this past weekend to grab a 4-wheeler we had just bought off of him and hang out a bit. We only had the baby with us. Our older kids are on vacation with Grammy in Florida. At some point people started showing up, as apparently this buddy was having a party that night with barbecue. We had no idea. This guy convinced my husband to stay until we ate with them. I didn't really want to because people were drinking and a few already appeared drunk and we had the baby, but I decided to just let my husband have his fun because he never gets out anymore. He works 2 jobs and busts his ass for us. So, I just hung out with the few sober people there, 2 other moms, who had their own children and husbands with them. Well, I had handed our daughter off to my husband at one point so I could go inside and use the restroom. There was a small line, so I was gone roughly 10 minutes. When I came back I saw my husband without the baby and him just hawk-eyeing off in other direction. I go over and find some woman holding the baby. I ask him what's going on and he goes, "She literally just took the baby from me and went to sit down." Now, I know my husband well and confrontation gives him severe anxiety, very abusive childhood, so I went over and took the baby back. The woman tried protesting and I simply said, "My baby, I get to decide when I want her back, thanks." I walk off and ignore the situation. But every time I glanced back at my husband, this woman was right there with him and engaging in conversation. I didn't think anything of it. But when I went over there maybe 30 minutes later, this woman immediately tries taking the baby and says to me, "I was just talking to your husband about me babysitting. I live right up the road. I can't have kids so I just watch other people's kids for free. Blah blah, whatever," all while literally trying to fight my baby out of my arms, kept putting her hands out to her and would follow me when I turned, once even trying to grab underneath my daughter's arms and lift. I asked her to, "Please stop," and she goes, "But she likes me." Now, it's important to note here that this woman was not talking like a person trying to play with a baby. It was incredibly serious, monotone, matter-of-fact, demanding type of voice the entire time. I don't think I saw her smile once. Even when she was holding the baby originally. I told her again to stop trying to take the baby and she goes, "Well, how do you intend for the baby to get used to me? I would prefer she gets used to me before I babysit." I straight up told her I would never allow her to babysit and she looked incredibly offended and snapped, "Why?" So I said, "Because you're a drunk woman that we don't know, trying to take my baby after I've already said no. You're acting like a fucking kidnapper." To my surprise, she immediately starts crying and just walks off silently. My husband is on my side here, 100%. He said that the entire time she was talking to him, it was her telling him how to get to her house to drop off the baby, what the baby would need, etc. So she was being fucking weird. She didn't even tell us her name. But another woman at the party, her best friend apparently, said that I'm out of line and that Mary is an incredibly good woman with a heart of gold and she only speaks like that because she feels like less of a woman, and is insecure, because she can't have children of her own and her only desire is to be a mom, but since she can't, she takes pride in helping other parents, etc. 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 I don't feel bad at all. But my husband is starting to think that maybe we overreacted and judged the situation too harshly. ETA, just for a bit of context here, this woman was really wide drunk. So this could essentially be why she was acting so demanding. If she was sober she could potentially be an entirely different person.